Sunday, 7 p.m. in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Go USA against Pura Vida, Costa Rica. Gold Cup quarterfinal coming right at you. A hotly contested quarterfinal. At least it's what we believe. Probably the most even of the four.
I'm excited for this matchup and looking forward to an extremely hard game, I would say, for Costa Rica.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I'm jealous, like guys like Rodney. He speaks Spanish like a native. He obviously sounds like he's from Costa Rica, but he speaks English like he's an American. He's got the best of both worlds. Me over here, I speak English as if I was...
No. Say I got Nico. You do the exact same thing.
Nah, bro.
If not better.
You don't speak English, bro.
I try to speak English. Absolutely. Rodney, all right, let's talk about this Costa Rica side. You say it's going to be a difficult match because they're up against the U.S. We say it's a difficult match because we see how good this Costa Rica side is. Talk to me about Los Ticos and why they present such a challenge for the U.S.
Yeah, Nico, I think the Ticos do present a challenge for the U.S. I did say it will be an extremely hard game for Costa Rica just because of the fact that the U.S. and Costa Rica always have friction on the field. Every time that we play each other, it's always been an intense match, right? Whether it's a friendly, whether it's a World Cup qualifier, whether it is a Gold Cup match, whatever it may be, USA Costa Rica has always had that spice to it. And this is no different. What I like about this game is that now we have younger generations going at it, and they're now starting to experience what it means to really be in these types of games. We have players from Costa Rica, maybe not as internationally experienced, but they do know what it feels like to play against the U.S. They've been playing since their U17 days or wherever it may be. You can still feel the pressure. Both teams have a great young talent with, and Costa Rican having more of an older, I would say a core like Francisco Calvo, having a player like Juan Pablo Vargas, having Keylor Navas in the back, that adds security. But then they have a good mixture of younger players, some that are suspended as well. Manfred Ugalde, which is a big loss for us in this upcoming match.
Rodney, you touched on the younger players. Look, I've been following this Costa Rican side at the youth level from coaching the youth national teams here in the U.S., and we always said, why aren't some of these guys getting promoted? It's taken a while for the Costa Rican Federation to integrate some of these. Certainly you have Navas, you have Calvo, you have Joseph Mora, who's not available, but it took a while for this Costa Rican side to bring and believe in young players. Why do you think that was the case?
Well, I think it all goes through generations, Tony. Just as if the U.S. went through its phases where, you had the Landon Donovans, then you transition into the next generation, and then you start to get closer. Now you have this new generation that is making noise. They have a great coach, and at the end of the day, it takes time. And for Costa Rica to make those changes, it just takes a little bit more time than the U.S. just because of the infrastructure, just because of the leagues that these young players from America play in. They have the opportunity to be in the MLS. They have the opportunity to play quality matches, maybe get sold, maybe even stay domestically with a better contract. But if you're in Costa Rica, the National League isn't as strong as it can be, and it's not producing players abroad. So now when you have these young players that are looking to constantly fight to get out and to be seen, it becomes harder. And then when you're in the younger national teams, you're not winning tournaments. You're not winning the U17 World Cup. You're not qualifying to the U20 World Cup. So those things start to add up, and then you start missing opportunities. And these young players on the Costa Rican side, they're gonna be good in this upcoming World Cup, but it's not their time. Their time right now is the 2030 World Cup, where now they're gonna have more international caps under their belts. They're gonna now start to know what it feels like to wear that jersey. They're gonna have weight underneath them. So the players like Manfred Ugalda, Alonso Martinez, let's say Jalen Mitchell, these players are going to be the core protagonists in this Costa Rican national team that eventually we'll get there. But right now we're in that transition phase, with El Piojo Herrera, which he's going to make changes and he's going to make us better. But he's not afraid of playing these young players.
Well, one player that these young players will have to look up to and can look up to is Keylor Navas. You played with him in your international career. What makes him special?
Well, besides the fact that he was my barber in the 2018 World Cup in Russia, he's a man of many talents, great person, but even more so, an incredible goalkeeper. His leadership, you can just feel his presence. If you look at this photo, you can just tell how calm he is, and that's his presence. He's always calm. He's always in control. But his reflexes, his shot-stopping ability, for him to see, he sees the whole play before it even develops. And he's one of those goalkeepers where, you're in training and you shoot the ball and it usually goes in, but somehow Keylor is always just there to make that spectacular last minute save, or you have no idea how he took the ball out of that angle. He's that type of goalkeeper where he'll take control over a game, and most likely he'll take control over this game because of the fact that our backs will be against the wall at a lot of the time. But the beautiful thing is that we have Keylor Navas back on the national team, and that just adds reassurance. So imagine me from an ex-player's perspective saying that Keylor Navas is there, and that's how safe we feel. Imagine the players on the field, regardless if they make a mistake or regardless if they're not able to get possession and they're feeling pressure and they're getting shots on, Keylor Navas is there to make those saves. It only ignites the team even more, and eventually the momentum turns on the Costa Rican side. So we saw it on the Mexico game, how many saves he had. He kept us in the game. If it wasn't for him, it would have been a whole different story. But we have him, so we have to utilize that power.
Yeah, before we get into your projected 11, Rodney, it went completely under the radar. You mentioned at the top he was your barber at the World Cup in Russia?
I'm telling you. I'm showing these pictures to my children. I'm letting everyone know, like, hey, guys, look, Keylor Navas, he can give a proper fade. So if you ever need a barber on the go, I'm telling you, Keylor Navas is your guy.
Hold up, are we talking he's a better barber than a goalkeeper? Like, does he line you up that well?
I mean, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. I wouldn't rank him that high as a barber, but I mean, the job can be done. We've all been in that. We've all been in that position when we need a last-minute cut. And if anybody's gonna give me a last-minute cut in the World Cup, I'll let it be Keylor.
So, Rodney, we recently did a CONCACAF all-time players power ranking. Now we got to do a Barber's power ranking in CONCACAF as well. So, big tones are on that one.
Well, that's a tough one. Tough assignment.
Pretty good. All right, listen, Rodney, we're going to go through the projected 11 and your players to watch. If you're doing a scouting report for the U.S., who are you telling them to keep an eye out for?
I would keep an eye on Jalen Mitchell. I would think that he's a player that he's dangerous going forward as a threat on the set pieces. A defender that has the opportunity to create from the back. He's a good passer of the ball. He's aggressive. And I think that he's going to become a threat for the U.S., for their attackers, for players that are dynamic, players like Tillman, players that want to get physical. Jalen Mitchell is one of those guys that is doing his job. No matter what the assignment is, you can always count on him. And, we have Alonso Martinez, who has been excellent in front of goal against Mexico. He had a few chances. One of them hit the crossbar, but he doesn't need much room to create. He doesn't need much space. He doesn't need to create that much room to get a shot off. At any given moment, he'll body you. He'll hold the ball up. He'll lay it back, run in behind. He becomes a pest with quality. Some players you say, oh, he's a pest. Blah, blah, blah. No, this guy's a pest. But when he has the ball, he has quality. So I'm looking forward to that as well. I'm looking forward to Brandon Aguilera. This is a player that Miguel Herrera El Piojo has given him a chance. This is a coach that gives young players chances. And I would say Brandon Aguilera, his time is coming. The 2026 World Cup is on its way. And he's a player that we all want to see be successful and take over the midfield, especially in a game where we're going to be able to open up the opponent if we have possession of the ball. We like to attack wide. We don't have Joseph Mora, but we do have different players that can give us options like Josimar Alcocer, a player that will receive the ball and literally turn on whenever he can go. He'll go forward. He'll do the defensive work, but is also a player that needs to make better decisions, especially in a game like this when the stakes are high. It's really just a difference about decision making, and I want Josimar Alcocer to make really good decisions in this match, and it'll be a difference maker.
Do not underestimate this Costa Rica side led by Miguel Herrera. That's Rodney Wallace, former Costa Rican international. Rodney, gracias.
No, muchas gracias a ustedes. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Good to see you.